For 4 years, I watched my son notice. Not the first time, he was too young. The second time, he asked why grandma's car was in someone else's driveway on his birthday. The third time, he stopped asking. The fourth time, he didn't mention it at all. He just ate his cake across from me in the small kitchen, and I saw something settle behind his eyes that I recognized. The exact thing that had settled behind mine decades earlier. That was Saturday. On Wednesday, my mother texted, $400 for the cabin weekend. Everyone's chipping in. Let me know by tomorrow. No hello, no mention of the birthday, no acknowledgement that her only grandson had just turned another year older without a single call or card from her. Just the cabin, just the money, just the assumption that I would keep being the person who paid to be forgotten. I sat with the phone for an hour. Then I opened the banking app. I sent $2. In the memo line I typed, wrong guest list. Then I went through every shared account they had ever convinced me to join. The vacation fund for the annual trip, the group card for emergencies, the miscellaneous pool my sister used for family expenses that somehow always included her own shopping. I locked each one, transferred the remaining balances into my personal account, flagged every recurring charge that had my name on it. It took less than 4 minutes. 24 hours later, my phone started buzzing. My sister first, then my brother, then my mother. I didn't answer. I didn't read the messages. On Friday morning, the bank called. We've received a fraud report from several family members, the representative said. Her voice was professional but cautious. They're claiming unauthorized access to shared accounts and improper blocking of cards. We need to verify the situation. I smiled. Not a happy smile, a recognition smile. I'm happy to clarify, I said. Those accounts were opened with my consent. I removed my own money. I blocked access to accounts that bear my name and my liability. There is no fraud. The representative asked me to hold. I waited. I heard typing. When she returned, she asked if I had ever authorized family members to use the accounts. I said yes, but that authorization required mutual participation in the family. When she asked what that meant, I paused. They skipped my son's birthday 4 years in a row, I said. Then they asked me to pay for a vacation I wasn't invited to. I withdrew my participation. That's not fraud. That's a boundary. Silence. Then she asked for the transaction history. I provided it. Every shared charge, every withdrawal my sister made for non-family purposes, every time my mother had used the vacation fund to cover her own expenses. Clean data, verifiable facts. She thanked me and said the fraud claim would be closed. I hung up. The phone rang again immediately. My mother, I answered. You locked us out, she said, not angry, confused, which was worse. The bank said it's not fraud. What did you tell them? The truth. She waited for me to explain further. I didn't. The silence stretched long enough that I could hear her breathing shift from frustration to something closer to uncertainty. The cabin weekend is in 2 weeks, she said quietly. I know. Are you coming? No one invited me, Mom. You just invoiced me. She didn't deny it. That was the part that almost broke me. She didn't say, of course you're invited. She didn't say, we want you there. She just sat in the fact that she had been caught, and she didn't know how to pivot because she had never needed to before. What about the money for the cabin? She asked finally. You have the $2. Everyone else can chip in the rest. I hung up before she could argue. That night, I sat with my son while he did homework. He looked up at me once, and I realized he was checking to see if I was okay. My 9-year-old, checking on me. I'm fine, I said. Are they mad? He asked. I knew who they meant. Probably, I said. Does that bother you? I thought about the 4 birthdays. The cabin text with no greeting, the fraud report, the bank call, the smile I couldn't stop. No, I said. Not anymore. He nodded and went back to his math. I watched him. And for the first time in 4 years, I didn't feel like I was failing him by staying. I felt like I was teaching him something I had learned too late. You don't have to pay for a seat at a table that never wanted you there.